Not for nothing do we have the word genius. And I always get stunned when I look at autographs of Mozart. It just poured out of him, the quantity of works and the richness of ideas. For a normal human being like yourself and myself, you cannot explain that really. With Mozart, when you look at how inventive he was, how creative he was, just from the standpoint of craftsmanship, how rich and difficult it is what he has written. I don't know when he found time to live. You know, he enjoyed life in many ways. When did he find time to write all this? It's amazing. Mozart actually traveled through Linz and stayed for 2 days and wrote a symphony. And Mozart was always working so fast, and being such a genius, he just threw out a wonderful symphony, and because he wrote it in Linz, it's now called Linz Symphony. It really has nothing to do musically with the place where it was written. The closest you can get is really in the third movement. You hear some relation to folk music, maybe from Upper Austria, but that's really far-fetching. I was born in Linz. My first 2.5 years of my life, my family lived there. And then from the age of 14, I went to school in Linz again in 1974. Linz was a very industrial town, big steel factory, like here. And it just, during the 70s, it really started to turn into a cultural city. So I was at the right moment in the right place. When I joined the school, that was actually the first year of existence. Secondly, in 1974, same year, the new concert hall got opened. That was the first time I heard the Vienna Philharmonic live, with Scholti conducting Brahms 1. I heard Claudia Abbado with the Vienna Philharmonic there, and so on and so on. The first time I heard the Cleveland Orchestra with Laurie Marcel was there, live. I just came back to my hometown Linz last September. You know, coming back to that place, it of course evokes a lot of memories. In high school, I had this wonderful music teacher. His name was Baldwin Sulzer, and he was an extraordinary man. He was not only our music teacher, he was also a monk. And he was the most unorthodox monk I ever met in my life. And one day, I was 16, he said to me, "You take over the rehearsals tomorrow." I was like, I don't know how to conduct. And he just, he didn't even make a comment. I thought he had no time to lead that rehearsal. So the next day I stood in front of my colleagues, conducted a Mozart divertimento, and at the end of that hour, I saw in the back of the room that our teacher snuck in just to watch what I was doing. And that was the beginning. And then I conducted rehearsals for him. And after about a year, I said, I'm really intrigued by this, and I would love to conduct also a concert. And he said, yeah, sure, but you have to organize it yourself. And there was one basic lesson, which was great. He said, conducting starts with pulling up chairs. So what he meant was, conducting is so much more than music making. It's organizing. You have to have an organized mind. You know what you do with your rehearsal time. You have to know how an orchestra works. When I then conducted that youth orchestra, I've been my own stagehand. I set up the chairs and the music stands and so on. I found sponsors to sponsor the concerts and was my own PR person and so on. So it was a very exciting time. Everything was new for us, and especially for me. So I learned really what conducting should be from scratch, meaning you have to serve other people. A live performance still is something so different. The space you perform in and the audience you perform for is part of the performance. Music is about communication. It's taking and giving.